Okay, so let's solve this parajumble now. So statement A, क्या कह रहा है statement A? The interaction was filmed without the woman's consent. Without the women's consent, women, which women? We do not know. So we can eliminate this statement. This can't be our first statement. Second statement says it seems. It seems मतलब अब it क्या है? एक pronoun है. It seems most people have lost their common sense. So it is a pronoun. Let's eliminate this statement. It seems people have lost their common sense in a bid to become famous on the internet. Okay. Now this seems to be a some kind of a suggestion, some kind of a suggestive or conclusive statement. So this looks more like a suggestive or a conclusive statement. Definitely, this is not going to be our first statement, but this seems to be suggestive or conclusive. It may be our concluding or the last statement. we'll look we'll look into the next statement now. Everyday interaction is being transformed into content by social media. Everyday information is transformed into content by social media. Now we do not have anything conclusive. Now look at the statement closely. Everyday interaction is being transformed into content by social media. So we do not have anything conclusive to eliminate this statement. So what we'll do, we'll put a question mark. We cannot eliminate this statement for our first statement. I mean, this can be or this may or may not be our first statement, but we are not confirm about it. So let's put a question mark over there. Let's go ahead. The woman, however, has said that she felt dehumanized and being used as clickbait. Okay, the woman, however का इस्तेमाल किया गया है. What does however mean? However means it is a conjunction. It needs to join some other statement. So the sole reason to eliminate this is it is having a conjunction. We can clearly grasp or we can clearly comprehend or we can clearly understand that this will not be our first statement. So what are we left with? Oh, sorry, there is statement E also. So recently, a TikTok creator surprised an elderly woman with a bouquet of flowers. They did not know each other to lift her spirits. Okay. So recently, a TikTok creator surprised an elderly woman. So we are finding the introduction of this woman. The woman, however, has said whatever she has said is linked with this elderly woman. Can't be our first statement. Eliminate this. But one thing that we found out is that ई के बाद ही आपका डी आएगा. ठीक है ना. ई के बाद ही आपका डी स्टेटमेंट आएगा. So what are we left with? We have almost eliminated. We have eliminated all the statements except statement C. So your first statement will be C for Chennai. Everyday interaction is being transformed into content by social media. Okay. So C statement is our first statement. So everyday interaction is being transformed into content by social media. अब उसी का explanation, उसी का illustration, उसी का elaboration आपको दिया है statement E में. देखो क्या कह रहा है ये कि everyday interaction is being transformed into content by social media. Content में बदल दिया जाता है क्या? Everyday interaction जो है उसको भी अभी content में बदला जा रहा है. उसका example कैसे दिया है? Statement E में. Recently a TikTok creator surprised an elderly woman. तो C के बाद E के बाद द इंटरक्शन वॉज फिल्म्ड. अब देखो यहाँ पर उनका इंटरक्शन जो है वो फिल्म विदाउट द वुमेन्स कॉन्सेंट. ठीक है. तो CEA. उसके बाद द वुमन हावेवर. अब देखना हावेवर है तो यहाँ पर जोड़ रहा है वो तो उसके कंसेंट के बिना किया था एंड शी इज फील्स लाइक डीह्यूमनाइज्ड. सो CEA B और सॉरी CEA D आएगा नॉट B. आई एम सो सॉरी. CEA D and then your B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your correct sequence. CEA D B is your correct sequence. CEA D B. Let's move ahead and look at the questions. What up? Sorry. After rearrangement, which among the following will be the fourth statement? क्या था हमारा sequence? CEA D B. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Statement D will be your fourth statement after rearrangement. I hope there should be no difficulties in this. Correct answer will be D for Delhi. Let's move ahead. After rearrangement, which among the following will be the introductory statement? क्या था? CEA D B. Now, introductory statement. Introductory statement means first statement. जो आपका इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहा है, दैट इज योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट क्या होगा? सी फॉर चेन्नई, सीईए डीबी था हमारा सीक्वेंस. सो सी स्टेटमेंट विल बी योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन? इट विल बी नथिंग बट option C. So option C will be your correct answer. Let's move ahead. After rearrangement, which among the following will be the last statement? C, E, A, D, B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B statement will be your last statement. Correct answer will be option number B for Bombay. Let's move ahead with the next question. And here it is on your screen. After rearrangement, which among the following will be the second statement? What was the sequence? CEA, DB. So second statement, 1, 2. Statement E will be your second statement. Correct answer will be E for England. I hope you are not having any difficulties over here. Let's move on to the last question or the next question. After rearrangement, which among the following will be the third statement? Kya the sequence? CEA, DB. So 1, 2, 3. Statement A will be your third statement. Correct answer will be option A. I hope you're not having any difficulties in this. Here we come with the next parajumble. I'll just read for you once. The given sentences, when properly sequenced, forms a coherent paragraph, and you have to choose the correct sequence. I'll not read the question. I'll just read the statements for you. Former President Donald Trump sharply attacked US. Former President Donald Trump sharply attacked US. Infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci over his handling of the coronavirus pandemic demanded reparations from China and denounced an investigation into his finances in a speech in North Carolina. Okay, so you have roughly 2 minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. Okay, so let us solve this now. Former President Donald Trump sharply attacked US. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statements. We can use elimination technique also. Okay, so let's see if we can use elimination technique over here. Option A क्या कह रहा है? Option A कह रहा है S से start होगा. S क्या है? From China and denounced an investigation. Can this be our introductory statement? No, it can't be. So eliminate this. दूसरा क्या है? P. Former President Donald Trump sharply attacked US. This may start, or this can be our introductory statement. So let's put a question mark over here. TRPSQ is the C option. P मतलब क्या है? Into his finances. Can a statement or can a paragraph start with into his finances in a speech? No. Eliminate this also. QSTPR is the option number D. What is Q? Infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci over his whatever cannot be our first statement. Eliminate. So what are we left with? We are left with B and E. Now let's see if we can solve with the B option. P के बाद क्या आ रहा है? P for Pune, then R for Rajasthan. So former President Donald Trump sharply attacked US handling of the coronavirus pandemic, demanding reparations. No, this doesn't seem to be the correct sequence. Uske baad S, reparations from China and denounced. No, this can't be. So the correct answer will be E for England. That is no replacement required. Now, if I read all the statements consecutively, you will find out that this is a coherent paragraph. Look at this, pay attention. Former President Donald Trump sharply attacked whom? He attacked US infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci over his, क्यों attack किया? Over his handling of coronavirus pandemic, and demanded reparations from China and denounced an investigation into his finances in a speech in North Carolina. So the statement is already arranged in the correct sequence. We need not change the sequence of this paragraph or of these sentences. That's why the correct answer will be E for England. That is, no replacement is required. I hope you have got this question right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. So I'll read the statements once. Against hate member Khalid Saifi, arrested in connection with the Northeast. Statement Q. Nothing that they are not previous convicts nor gangsters. Statement R. A Delhi court has dismissed a petition filed by authorities. Statement S. Delhi riots last year in fetters and handcuffs to produce former JNU student Umar Khalid and United. So let's see, you have 1 minute or maybe 2 minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. Okay, so your time is up now. Let's solve this. Against hate member Khalid Saifi, we can see that this seems to be a conclusive, it seems to be a consecutive statement, a continuous statement for that matter. So can't be a first statement. Eliminate this. Noting that they are not previous, noting that, matlab what? Noting something so that we can see that this is also a continuation of some statement, can't be a first statement. A Delhi court has dismissed a petition filed by authorities. This may be our first statement. Let's put a question mark over here. Now, Delhi riots last year in fetters and handcuffs seems to be a conclusion or seems to be the end part of some statement. So can't be our first statement. Eliminate this also. To produce former JNU student. To produce for again seems to be a continuation. Can't be a first statement. So what will be our first statement? Our first statement will be R. R से चालू होने वाला कौन सा है यहाँ पर? ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है. अब D और E में और no correct, no replacement is required is also not correct. So we'll eliminate this also. एक ही ऑप्शन बचता है वो है ऑप्शन D, that is RTPSQ. Okay, so after just looking at the options, I mean just getting the first statement and then after looking to the options, we can have our correct answer. But never fall for this trap. Okay, mark my words, never fall for this trap. We will always recheck, we'll always consolidate that our answer is correct. And how will we do that? If you are having such statements with these direct options, you can directly join with this, join the paragraph or join the sentences in the same order given in the options. So we'll do that. What is statement R? A Delhi court has dismissed a petition filed by authorities. R के बाद T, so T पढ़ेंगे. A Delhi court has dismissed a petition filed by authorities to produce former JNU student Umar Khalid and united against hate member. That is your P statement. And united against hate member Khalid Saifi arrested in connection with the Northeast. So आपका क्या बन गया? R के बाद T, T के बाद P, P के बाद S है और Q है, ठीक है ना? तो मैंने P अभी पढ़ लिया, वापस से पढ़ता हूं R से. A Delhi court has dismissed a petition filed by authorities. Okay, correct. To produce former JNU student Umar Khalid and United. Okay, United किसके? Against hate member Khalid Saifi arrested in connection with the Northeast. So P भी बैठ रहा है सीधे सीधे. उसके बाद S, that is Delhi riots last year in fetters and handcuffs, ये भी बैठ रहा है. And then Q is the last option. The correct option will be option number D, that is RTPSQ. I hope you have got this parajumble right. Without wasting further time, we'll delve into the next parajumble. I'll read it once for you. A huge surge of protesters joining the sites is the case, and all protest sites are witnessing. The government should know that quite the opposite, an image of dwindling numbers at the protest sites, while the spin doctors of BJP continue to try to create. You have roughly 1 to 2 minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. Okay, so your time is up. Let's delve into this. A huge surge of protesters, and see, if you observe closely, all the statements TQ, RST, every statement is starting with a small case. Is the I, the T, and the A. Only statement T is starting with a uppercase, that is capital letters. So we can clearly see that T will be our first statement. T will be our first statement. No need to go anywhere else. If all the statements were with the small letters or the lower case, then we would have to go deeper into the sentences. But here we can directly identify that W is in capital, rest all are in small cases. So your T statement will be your first statement. Okay. So why the spin? अब T से आने वाला कौन सा है? बस एक ही है. That is option A. But as I said in the previous parajumble also, that we will always consolidate, we'll always confirm whether this answer is correct or not. And what is the procedure to do that? Arrange the sequence in the order given in the option. So we'll do that. T के बाद क्या आ रहा है यहाँ पर? S आ रहा है. So I'll read T first. While the spin doctors of BJP continue to try to create. क्या create करना चाहेंगे? अब S statement में दिया है create an image. So S statement सही बैठ रहा है. So while the spin doctors of BJP continue to try to create an image of dwindling numbers at the protest sites, उसके बाद R, the government should know that quite the opposite. Correct बैठ रहा है sequence में. So TSR, the government should know that quite the opposite is the case, and all protest sites are witnessing a huge surge of protesters joining the sites. So we have confirmed that this is the correct sequence, TSR QP. So your correct answer will be A for Ahmedabad, TSR QP. I hope you guys have got this correct. Let's move on to the next parajumble. And here it is. I'll read all the statements for you once. ICU and ventilator beds between September last year. Statement Q, an inevitable second wave of COVID-19. Statement R, The Narendra Modi government's decision to reduce oxygen. Statement S. And January this year, despite experts predicting. Statement T. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned. So you have roughly 1 to 2 minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. So your time is up. Let's solve this. Now, as we saw in the last parajumble, only two statements are starting with the capital letters. First, I'll read the P statement. ICU and ventilator beds between September last year. Okay. And Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned something. So amongst P and T, we can clearly identify the T statement will be your first statement. Let's look at Q. It is small letters. R is also small, and statement S is also beginning with and. So this cannot be our first statement. So eliminate this. What we are left with is only P and T. In that, T statement looks to be more correct as an introductory statement. So Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned. Now she questioned something. What did she question? Now, if we go by the options, only C option is starting with T. So let's go by the sequence of T. T ke baad R. So I'll read the sentences again. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned. What did she question? She questioned ICU and ventilator beds between September last year. Of September last year and January this year. So क्या P के बाद S आ रहा है? हाँ? T के बाद R आ रहा है. Okay. T के बाद R आ रहा है. Sorry, T के बाद R आ रहा है, not T. So she questioned what? She questioned. I'm sorry, I just fumbled over here. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned what? She questioned the Narendra Modi government's decision to reduce oxygen. So T के बाद R is correct. उसके बाद P to reduce oxygen. T के बाद R के बाद P to reduce oxygen, ICU and ventilator beds. Okay, fine. Now this is sounding more correct. उसके बाद S is September last year and January this year. So TRPS and then your Q. So correct answer will be TRPSQ. Your correct option is C. So this is correct. Let's move on. I hope you have got this correct. Any doubts over here? I hope not, because this is a very easy parajumble. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Now, P statement is saying in Canada of the remains of 215 indigenous students. Okay, Pope Francis expressed his pain over the discovery, pressed religious and political authorities to shed light on this sad affair of church run boarding schools. And okay, so you have again roughly a couple of minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. I assume that you must have already solved this. So let's delve into this and quickly solve this also. Now, as we can eliminate P small cases mein hai, O Francis ye hai, we cannot eliminate this, we can eliminate this, we can eliminate statement S also, and we can eliminate statement T also. क्या बचता है हमारे पास? कुछ नहीं सिवाय Q के. तो Q कौन सा स्टेट क्या कह रहा है स्टेटमेंट? Pope Francis expressed his pain over the discovery. डिस्कवरी कैसी कहां पर दिया है आपके P स्टेटमेंट में. Over the discovery in Canada. Q के बाद P. कौन सी डिस्कवरी थी? In Canada of the remains of 215 indigenous students. 215 indigenous students. कहाँ के students? Students of church-run boarding schools and वो वाला statement. So Q, P, T उसके बाद run boarding church-run boarding schools and pressed religious and political authorities to shed light on this sad affair. So T के बाद R, R के बाद S. So Q, P, T, R, S is your correct sequence. Your correct answer will be option B. I hope you must have got this right. Okay, so let's move on with our next parajumble. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is more like a conventional parajumble. So I'll read all the statement once for you. In simpler terms, it is the Indian version of the Razzies. The third Golden Kela Awards will be hosted by Cyrus Brocha this year. Statement C. It was created in order to ridicule the bad performances and as a revenge for wasting our precious time and money on such idiotic films. The Golden Kela is held each year where awards are given for the year's worst in Bollywood, and it was created by Random Magazine, India's longest running humor magazine in the year 2009. So you roughly have a couple of minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. So your time is up. Let's solve this parajumble. So this is more like a conventional type of parajumble that we are used to solve. So let's look at this one by one. In simpler terms, it is the Indian, Indian version. It is the Indian version. कौन सा है? We do not have any idea. Eliminate this. Can't be a first statement. The third Golden Kela Awards will be hosted by Cyrus Brocha this year. The third Golden Kela Awards will be hosted. So we have to have some introduction of the Golden Kela Awards. So we can assume that this is not our first statement. Eliminate this. B statement also can't be a first statement. It was created in order to ridicule the bad performances. It was created. It matlab kya? This it is related to this Golden Kela Awards. Can't be a first statement. Eliminate this. Then we have statement D. The Golden Kela is held each year where awards are given for the year's worst in Bollywood. This may be our first statement. Let's put a question mark. And it was created by a random magazine. It matlab kya? Again, same linking towards this Golden Kela Awards. Can't be your first statement. So eliminate E statement. What are we left with? We are left with nothing but option D or statement D. How many options do we have that are starting with option D? Option A starting with D, B starting with B, हटा दो, C starting with A, हटा दो, D starting with C, उसको भी हटा दो. We are left only with one option, that is DAECB. Okay, so let's confirm this by arranging it in the given sequence. So the Golden Kela is held each year where awards are given for the years worst in Bollywood. Uske baad A. In simpler terms, it is the Indian version of the Razzies. Razzies is also the same. Okay, then E. It was created by Random Magazine in 2009. Fine. Then C, it was created in order to ridicule the bad performances. And then B, the third Golden Killer Awards will be hosted by Saris Brocha this year. So the correct option will be DAECB. That is your correct sequence. I hope you must have got this right. See, when we found out the first statement, we were almost there with the answer. But just to confirm it, we are doing this, arranging it according to the sequence given in the option. In your exams, if you get this, you can save time. Without going for this, you can directly mark the option A as your answer. That will save hell lot of time when you are attempting your exams. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's move ahead. Okay, so again, we have a 5 statement parajumble. I'll read all the statement once for you. Despite the strong performance of the economy in 2010-11, the outlook for 2011-12 is clouded by stubborn and persistently high inflation and rising external risks. Statement B, the three key macroeconomic concerns before the Union Budget 2011-12 were high inflation, high current account deficit, and fiscal consolidation. Additionally, there was an exception that the government would restart the reform process. Statement D, while the budget sets a lower nominal GDP growth, that is gross domestic product growth, target of 14%, we believe that the real GDP growth target of 9% factored in the budget is on the optimistic side. And statement E is the budget has made an attempt to address all these issues, albeit through small steps. So this is a 5 statement parajumble. Again, you have a couple of minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. Okay, so your time is up. Let's solve this parajumble now. Now, statement A. What is statement A saying? Despite the strong performance of the economy, despite, it is a conjunction. This cannot be your starting statement. Eliminate this. The three key microeconomic concerns before the Union Budget 2011-12 were high inflation, high CAD, and high fiscal consolidation. So this may be, we do not have anything conclusive to eliminate this. This may be or this may not be our first statement. Fine, let's put a question mark. Statement C, क्या कह रहा है? Additionally, there was an expectation. Additionally, again a conjunction. Cannot be our first statement. Eliminate this also, can't be our first statement. Then statement D, while the budget sets a nominal GDP, while is again a conjunction. This cannot be your first statement. Eliminate this also. Then we have statement E, the budget has made an attempt to address all these issues. These issues, the budget has made an attempt to address all these issues. These मतलब कौन से? We do not know. Can be our first statement. क्या बचा हमारे पास? हमारे पास बचा सिर्फ option B. So statement B will be your first statement. कितने ऑप्शन है ऐसे? डी ऑप्शन को हटा दिया, ए से चालू हो रहा है, सी ऑप्शन डी से चालू हो रहा है, उसको भी हटा दिए, बी ऑप्शन आपका सी से चालू हो रहा है, उसको भी हटा दिया, बचता क्या है? सिर्फ ए ऑप्शन, दैट इज बी सी ई ए डी, बी सी ई ए डी. दिस इज योर correct sequence, but what we are going to do, we are going to confirm whether this is going to be our correct sequence or not. Let's go on with this sequence. The three key macroeconomic concerns before the Union Budget 2011-12 were high inflation, high current account deficit, and fiscal consolidation. उसके बाद C. Additionally, there was an expectation that the government would restart the reform process. Okay. उसके बाद E. The budget has made an attempt to address all these issues. These issues मतलब कौन से? एक, एक, दो, तीन, ये issues address किए हैं. Albeit through small steps, छोटे-छोटे steps है. Okay. उसके बाद ए, डिस्पाइट अ स्ट्रॉन्ग परफॉर्मेंस, ठीक है ना, एड्रेस किए सब इश्यूज, मतलब दिस इज अ पॉजिटिव टोन स्टेटमेंट, एंड ओवर हियर वी हैव अ नेगेटिव टोन स्टेटमेंट जॉइंड बाय द कंजंक्शन डिस्पाइट स्ट्रॉन्ग परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ इकोनॉमी, आउटलुक फॉर 2011-12 इज क्लाउडेड, ठीक है, ए भी आ रहा है, एंड देन वी हैव डी व्हाइल बजट सेट्स. ओके, सो दिस इज करेक्ट सीक्वेंस, बी सी ई ए डी. करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन ए. आई होप यू गाइस हैव गॉट दिस parajumble right. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next parajumble, and here it is on your screens. First of all, I'll read all the statements for you. Statement A क्या कह रहा है? These were mainly bulwarks against winter, the hoarded dregs of more plentiful seasons. Statement B, the first were the earliest mince pies, which saw cooked shredded meat, dried fruits, alcohol with its preservative qualities, and perhaps a few spices or herbs, all encased in large pies. Statement C, subsequently people baked this into a kind of pie, adding breadcrumbs for bulk, eggs to bind it, and upping the dried fruits and called it plum pudding. Sorry. Statement D, the pudding seems to have had two principal forerunners. And statement E, the second main pudding was a pottage or soup called frumenty, a fast dish involving cracked wheat, currants, and almost almonds, which was ladled out at the start of a meal. So we have a five statement parajumble over here. You roughly have a couple of minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. Okay, so your time is up now. Now we'll solve this parajumble. These were mainly bulwarks. These matlab what? We have no idea. Eliminate this. Can't be our first statement. The first for the earliest means 5. The first, consider first. We have no idea. Eliminate this also. Subsequently, a conjunction. Subsequently, people bake this. Can't be our first statement. Eliminate this. The pudding seems to have had two principal forerunners. Now, we do not have anything conclusive to eliminate this statement. So for the time being, we'll just put a question mark. This can be our first statement. The second main pudding was a pottage. Second main pudding. देखो यहाँ पर फर्स्ट था, यहाँ पर सेकंड था. कैन बी आवर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. क्या बचता है हमारे पास? हमारे पास बचता है बस डी फॉर दिल्ली. अब देखते हैं ऑप्शंस में. ए हट गया क्योंकि ए चालू हो रहा है ई से. ऑप्शन बी से चालू हो रहा है, हट गया. ऑप्शन सी डी से चालू हो रहा है. ऑप्शन सी डी से चालू हो रहा है. एंड ऑप्शन डी इज ऑल्सो स्टार्टिंग विद डी. सो वी हैव नाउ टू ऑप्शंस. नाउ वी जस्ट हैव टू डिकोड कि बी पहले आएगा कि ए पहले आएगा. ठीक है, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि यहाँ पर डी के बाद ए है और इधर डी के बाद बी है. चलो ओके. The pudding seems to have had two principal forerunners. These were mainly bulwarks against winter. Okay. या ऐसा होगा. The pudding seems to have had two principal forerunners. The first were the earliest meant by no. These मतलब क्या? दोनों. ये these मतलब क्या है? दोनों. First जो यहाँ पर statement B में use किया गया है वो first B, and then this also means second that has been used in statement E. So these is related to the first in statement B and the second in statement E. So our correct sequence will be मतलब D के बाद क्या आएगा तो A आएगा. कि क्या है? The pudding seems to have had two principal forerunners. कौन से two principal forerunners है? These were mainly bulwarks against winter, the hoarded dregs of more plentiful season. So D के बाद A के बाद C. Subsequently, people bake this into a kind of a pie. Okay, fine. उसके बाद E आएगा. The second main pudding. No. Wait. ये सब A नहीं आएगा. Sorry. We just need to clear this all. Okay. So D के बाद A नहीं आएगा. We need to erase this. D तो पहला आएगा. D के बाद B आएगा. B. Sorry. The pudding seems to have had two principal forerunners. दो principal forerunners थे. कौन से दो forerunners थे? The first were the earliest mince pies. B. उसके बाद B के बाद आएगा आपका E आएगा. E. The first were the earliest mince pies. Okay. उसके बाद आएगा आपका E. The second main pudding was a pottage or soup called fomenti. Okay. उसके बाद these were mainly bulwarks. उसके बाद आएगा A and उसके बाद आएगा C. So correct answer will be DBEAC. DBEAC. Correct sequence will be DBEAC. आपके यहाँ ऑप्शन में दिया गया नहीं है. यहाँ पर थोड़ी गलतियां हो गई है. It's a typo. It's a typing mistake. So don't worry. I've already given you the correct sequence. क्या है correct sequence? DBEAC. I hope you guys have got this right. Okay, assuming it that you have got this right, let's move ahead to our next parajumble. Again, a 5 statement. I'll read all the statements for you once. A famous Japanese rock garden is at Ryan G in Northwest Kyoto, Japan. Statement B, the rocks of various sizes are arranged on small white pebbles in 5 groups, each comprising 5, 2, 3, 2, and 3 rocks. Statement C, the garden is 30 meters long from east to west and 10 meters from north to south. Okay. Statement D, the garden contains 15 rocks arranged on the surface of white pebbles in such a manner that visitors can see only 14 of them at once from whichever angle the garden is viewed. And statement E, there are no trees, just 15 irregularly shaped rocks of varying sizes, some arranged by gravel, sand that is raked every day. So this is a 5 statement parajumble for you. You have roughly 2 minutes to solve this and your time starts now. So your time is up now. Let us solve this parajump. A famous Japanese rock garden is at Ryoanji in northwest Kyoto, Japan. If you closely observe the statement, we do not find anything conclusive to eliminate this statement. So this can be or this cannot be our first statement. But for the time being, we'll just put a question mark over here. We cannot definitely eliminate this. Okay. The rocks of various sizes are arranged on a small white pebbles. Five groups, each comprising 5, 2, 3, 2, and 3 rocks. Okay. लेकिन कहां पर अरेंज किए जा रही है? We do not have an idea. Maybe this is into this rock garden. So eliminate this. The garden is 30 meters. कौन सा garden? ये famous Japanese rock garden. So can't be our first statement. Eliminate this. The garden contains 15 rocks arranged on the surface of. Again, the garden contains कौन सा garden? तो वही. And there are no trees. Just 15 irregularly shaped sizes of gravel sand that is raked every day. Can't be our first statement. क्या बचता है? हमारे पास बचता है A for apple और A for Ahmedabad. And let's go ahead with the options. D हट गया, C हट गया, B हट गया. बचता क्या है? A for apple. Let's rearrange with the sequence A, C, E, B, D. Just to check whether the sequence is correct. A famous Japanese rock garden is at Ryoanji in northwest Kyoto, Japan. The rocks of नहीं उसके बाद आएगा C. हाँ, तो गार्डन कैसा है? तो गार्डन का इंट्रोडक्शन हुआ है तो गार्डन का स्पेसिफिकेशन भी आएगा. गार्डन कैसा है? तो 30 मीटर्स लॉन्ग फ्रॉम ईस्ट टू वेस्ट एंड 10 मीटर्स लॉन्ग. ओके, तो ए के बाद सी, ये भी बैठ रहा है ठीक से. उसके बाद ई, देयर आर नो ट्रीज, जस्ट 15 इरेगुलरली शेप्ड रॉक्स. ओके, ये भी बैठ रहा है. उसके बाद बी, रॉक्स कैसे है? वेरियस साइजेस के, अरेंज कैसे किए हैं? ओके, वो भी आ गया. एंड द लास्ट बचता है आपका डी, द गार्डन कंटेन्स 15 rocks arranged on the surface. Okay, so correct बैठ रहा है ये. A, C, E, B, D is your correct sequence. I hope you guys have got this right. Without wasting any further time, let's move on to the next parajumble. Last March, I was invited to present a paper on the topic of whether the mistakes of the 20th century would be repeated in 21st century as well. The economic crisis hadn't become grave then, but today the world is in the midst of the biggest economic crisis since 1929. But the key difference between then and now is that the old power structures have finally disappeared. Now even the US is pleading for financial help from China. Again, a five statement parajumble. You roughly have a couple of minutes to solve this, and your time starts now. So your time is up. Let us solve this parajumble now. Okay. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, so let's come back to the parajumble now. Last March, I was invited to present a paper on the topic of whether the mistakes of the 20th century would be repeated in the 21st century as well. Let us look at this. Okay, so we do not have anything here, so we cannot eliminate this. So let us put a question mark. This may be or this may not be our first statement. Now the economic crisis hadn't become grave then. Then then matlab this last March. Okay, so cannot be our first statement. Eliminate this. But today, now in statement C, we are having but. What is but? But is a contrast conjunction. Cannot be our first statement. Eliminate this.